Welcome back. In this video, we are going to look at profitability ratios. Now, the ability to generate profits is a key determinant of a company's overall value and the value of the securities it issues. Hence, it should be a key focus area of your analysis. Profitability reflects a company's competitive position in the market and to an extent the quality of management too. The income statement reveals the source of earnings and the components of revenue and expenses. Earnings can be distributed to shareholders or reinvested in the company. Reinvested earning enhances the solvency and provides a cushion against short-term problems. We have shown here some common profitability ratios. The various return on sales ratios express various subtotals on the income statement like gross profit, operating profit, and net profit by dividing them with revenue and thus measuring them as a percentage of revenue. The other type of profitability ratio is the return on investment profitability ratio. These ratios measure incomes relative to assets, equity, or total capital employed by the company. Now let's look at these ratios one by one. The first ratio we are looking at is the gross profit margin. Gross profit margin is measured as a gross profit divided by revenue. This ratio indicates the percentage of revenue available to cover operating and other expenses, and are they sufficient to create profits. Higher gross margin reflects combination of higher product pricing and lower product costs. The ability to charge higher prices is constrained by competition, and the company can charge more only if it has a competitive advantage. Also, higher gross profit margin may also indicate that the company has a competitive advantage in product costs. The next ratio is the operating profit margin, which is calculated by dividing the operating profit, which is also known as the earnings before interest and tax, and this value is divided by the revenue of the company to arrive at the operating profit margin. Operating profit is calculated by subtracting operating costs from gross profits. Hence, an operating profit margin increasing faster than the gross profit margin can indicate improvements in controlling operating costs like the administrative overheads. Similarly, a declining operating profit margin would indicate deteriorating control over operating costs. The next ratio we will look at is the pre-tax margin. This ratio uses pre-tax income, that is earnings before tax, which is also calculated as operating profit minus interest. The pre-tax margin is ratio of pre-tax income to revenue. The pre-tax margin reflects the effects on profitability of leverage and other non-operating income and expenses. If a company's pre-tax margin is increasing, primarily as a result of increasing amounts of non-operating income, the analyst should evaluate whether the increase reflects a deliberate change in a company's business focus and thus the likelihood that the increase will continue. The next ratio we'll look at is the net profit margin. This ratio is calculated by dividing net profits by revenue. Net profits are calculated as revenues minus all expenses. This ratio reflects the overall profitability of the company after accounting for all expenses, whether they be recurring expenses or non-recurring expenses. Another important ratio is the return on assets, which is calculated by dividing the net income by average total assets. This ratio measures the return earned by a company on its assets. The higher the ratio, the more income is generated by a given level of assets. Some analysts add back interest expense to the numerator to account for the fact that we are using total assets in the denominator, which is financed by both equity and debt. Hence, ROA formula is often modified by adding interest multiplied by 1 minus tax rate to the net income in order to get a fair picture of the returns generated by total assets. The next ratio is return on total capital, which is calculated by dividing earnings before interest and taxes by short and long-term equity and debt. Hence, this ratio measures the profit a company earns on all of the capital that it employs, whether it be short-term debt, long-term debt, or equity. Another important ratio is the return on equity, which measures the returns earned by a company on its equity capital. Now, equity capital includes minority interest, preferred equity, and common equity. This ratio is calculated by dividing the net income minus preferred dividends with average common equity. Preferred dividend is deducted because the company is required to pay this dividend to the preferred shareholders, and hence the income available to common equity shareholders is reduced to that extent. With this, we have covered a range of important profitability ratios. In the next video, we'll look at valuation ratios that help us make some better sense of valuations of different companies.